8 MEPs elected for the London electoral region, topping the poll for the Lib Dems, Irina von Wiese, and then Claude Moraes, who's a very long-standing member of the European Parliament for Labour, in second place. The Brexit Party's Benjamin Habib, and then another Lib Dem member, Dinesh Damja, and then we have the Greens, Scott Ainsley, the Labour Party's Sebastian Dance, another Lib Dem, Louisa Porritt, and the Brexit Party's Lance Foreman, and no Conservatives in sight. And that is quite a turn-up. Let's look at the tally then, once again, and we'll see that now Lib Dems, from nowhere last time, now have 3 MEPs representing London. That's the strength of their surge in the London region. Labour have 2. They've lost 2 of their MEPs. The Brexit Party are on 2 seats. The Greens are on 1, and the Tories have lost the 2 that they had last time. The Change UK Party, the new party, don't have any. The UKIP grouping last time, which was just a solitary MEP, that's also been lost. If we look at the share of the vote, because that's also useful for us in terms of the Lib Dem performance here, and let's look at that. 27% of the vote to the Lib Dems in London. Labour Party on 24%, the Brexit Party on 18% in third place, the Greens on 12%, the Tories way back on 8% in the London region, Change UK on 5%, UKIP on 2%. And then if we look at the Change, from 2014, the Lib Dems have increased their share of the vote by 20%. Labour's down by 13% in London, where, of course, it's very strong traditionally. Brexit Party on 18%, the Greens having put on 4%, the Tories lost 15% of its share of the vote. So back to the tally again, just to remind us where we are. In London, very important result because there are 8 MEPs in this region, the Lib Dems on 3, Labour on 2, the Brexit Party on 2, the Greens on 1. And gosh, well...
That's quite something. I mean, London is absolutely the sort of beating heart of today's Labour Party. It's not just Emily Thornberry's backyard, but Jeremy Corbyn's literal backyard. That is a very worrying result for the Labour Party, to see such a move to the Lib Dems away from them.
Islington, I'm told, Emily, Islington went to the Lib Dems. Would that surprise you?
No.
Right. I mean, so again, what are we reading? You've been very open so far. What are you reading into this London performance for Labour? Is that just simply, a stronger version of what you were saying earlier in terms of clarity of message, the fact that people are turning to the Lib Dems because they like the message that the Lib Dems are giving in London?
As I say, I think it's a single issue. I think it's been a single issue election, and I had many people saying to me on the doorstep, I'll always vote for you, Emily. I'll always vote in generals. I'll always vote Labour. But in this, we just need you to get the message that you need to be clearer about what you're saying. Because I would explain what Labour's position was, and they would go, oh, OK. And I say, I know, it's taken 5 minutes to explain exactly where we are. We needed to be clearer and sharper and make it absolutely unequivocal as to where we're going and what it is that we're going to need to do. And that seems to me that until and unless we do that, we will be punished. I do think at a general election it will be a different matter. Okay. At a general election there will be many other issues, and frankly, the Liberals will not do anything like as well in a general election because of the challenge that we will give them on a wide range of issues.
I'd love to hear the conversation between you and, let's say, Len McCluskey, who's been very clear. Labour has no business to be talking about some kind of second referendum. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the message he's given. What would you say to him?
Well, I mean, I think that, I talk to Len regularly, and he is very conscious of the fact that people are split on this, and I get that. And that's why for the last 3 years, we have been trying to deliver a Brexit that will look after jobs and look after the economy. But frankly, we're not going to agree to their deal because their deal is nonsense. And we've been making it clear throughout what it is that we've been wanting. And we have done everything we can to try to leave, but in such a way as will look after our people. But we're not getting there, and we cannot agree to this. And that's why things have now got to a stage whereby if we're being faced with a Tory bad deal or no deal, we must start making it clear that we think we need to go back to the people and say to them, did you vote for this? Because we don't think you did. Could you just give us your good sense do you want to go ahead with this? Because frankly, if people do, then fine, then we'll go ahead with it. But if they want to remain, then I think that should be the other option.
But you have Caroline Flint again saying tonight, this talk is toxic, she says. This kind of talk about going back to the people, and she says it's toxic. Now, what do you say then?
I think that what needs to be the guiding light is democracy, and I think we begin with democracy. Wait a minute, hey, girls, shoot, come. You can call me a girl. All right, let me focus. So the point I'm trying to make is that the day after the referendum, I woke up the next morning and I said, this is dreadful, but we must do as we're told. We're public servants. We must do as we're told. We're public servants, and we must go ahead with this. But there are ways and ways of leaving the European Union. And in the end, 48-52 spoke to me an essential truth, which was, yes, we leave, but we do not go far, and we look after jobs and the economy. And that was our guiding light.
Okay.
And that is what we have been trying to deliver against an intransigent Prime Minister who has not listened, no matter what it is that we've said. And we are running out of road, and we are ending up in a position whereby the fear is you are going to elect a leader who wants no Brexit, who wants no deal, and therefore, if we're going to end up with no deal,
you can speculate on our leadership contest, but
and we must be Democrats and say to the public, did you vote for this?
Okay, Helen.
Well, it's just you make out that you've somehow been trying to cooperate to deliver Brexit, but you simply haven't.
6 weeks we were talking to you guys.
Your party has voted against Brexit 37 times, against all the withdrawal agreement, against lots of preparations for no deal Brexit. You have voted again and again and again. The only thing you did is indeed vote for Article 50, and then you've done everything you can to stop us actually carrying it out.
I think you're both in denial here, to be honest. I think, Emily, you're in denial about what voters in your Labour heartlands want, and I think if you continue to push the second referendum anti-Brexit line, you're going to lose even more vote share. Helen, with respect, I think what these results are also showing tonight is that Theresa May's deal should be dead and buried. This also is not what the country wants. It's not Brexit. The massive surge in support for the Brexit Party is effectively against not just the Conservative Party's intransience and refusal to deliver on the referendum result, but it's also a very strong verdict against Theresa May's deal.
And you do not represent the majority of the population on no deal. You absolutely don't. And if you think that this is the referendum, then actually let's have a proper referendum and let's find out exactly what people want.
Yeah, let's have one that says Theresa May's deal, no deal, or remain, and let's split the leave vote. Yeah, very clever that, Emily. We're wising up to that one.
Laura?
What this is it's no deal if there is no other option. Every sensible Leave voter in the country would like to have a decent deal. May's deal is not a decent deal. It was an utter capitulation.
They didn't vote for.
This is a vote
should be all right.
We
We'll
don't
just
want
about
May's
have enough
deal.
food.
We want
will be all right on
deal.
medicines. We're sure.
Oh, come on.
We're sure we
You
can
know
sort
this is
something out.
Laura, do you want to pick one?
I just wonder, Emily, before you leave, when was it that you decided that actually the Labour policy was as wrong as you've been suggesting it is tonight? Because for a long time, many of your colleagues have been saying exactly what you're saying tonight, but you've been part of the shadow cabinet that agreed this policy again and again and again. So when did you change your mind?
I don't talk about what happens internally in the Labour
Well,
Party.
I'm asking you, when did you change your mind?
I think that leaks by others who thought it was a good idea to leak what I said, well, I think it is fairly clear what my view has been, and I have been making my views fairly clear behind the scenes. But in the end, I thought that our policy during this election was, you could see where we were trying to go. It just wasn't clear enough.
So you've been going along with something you fundamentally think is wrong for many months, but now these results say you're going to persuade Jeremy Corbyn to change his mind.
No. I thought it was right for us to try to find a way through this whereby we left the European Union, but we remained close, because that did seem to me to be the way that statespeople in these circumstances had to behave. But I thought that when we got to these European elections, although we were going in the right direction in our policy, we still hadn't gone far enough and fast enough, and we weren't clear enough. And I did do everything I could in public to be clear about that. And what I have said behind the scenes is a matter for me and my colleagues, and I'm not going to leak conversations, but other people did, and it is known what my view was.
Okay. Helen, I understand that you will be going somewhere else soon. We're going to be missing your company, but thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
But